What if your book could sell your services without you ever sounding like a salesperson? In this video, I'll show you the right structure does all the selling for you, so hiring you feels like the most natural next step in the world. Hey, I'm Michael Delano, founder of Paperback Expert. We've helped more than 250 business owners become best-selling authors and grow their business using their book. And one of the most common fears I hear is this: Michael, I don't want my book to sound like a sales pitch. I get it. Nobody wants to read a 200-page commercial. But here's what most people don't understand. There's a huge difference between selling and guiding. Selling feels pushy. It feels desperate. It breaks trust. But guiding feels natural. It feels helpful. And when done right, it makes your offer feel inevitable and irresistible. The best business books don't pitch. They're designed in a way that leads the reader step by step to one conclusion. I need to work with this person. Let's start with the simple truth. When someone reads your book, they're not just consuming information, they're looking for direction. At certain points in the reading experience, their brain naturally asks, okay, what should I do with this? And if you don't answer that question, they'll finish your book, close it, and move on with their life. But if you answer it strategically, you guide them toward working with you. There are 3 key places where readers subconsciously look for guidance. The first one is right after a big insight. When you've just blown their mind with a realization or when they've had an aha moment, that's when they are most open to taking action. Their brain is saying, hey, this is important. What do I do with this? The second place is at the end of each chapter. This is a natural pausing place. They've absorbed your teaching, they're nodding along, and now they're thinking, okay, what's next? And the third place is at the very end of the book. This is the final moment. They've spent hours with you and your ideas. They trust you. And now they're wondering, okay, how do I take this further? What's my next step? Most authors only use place 3. They save the call to action for the last page, but that's probably a mistake. Because if you've delivered real value throughout the book, readers are ready to engage long before they reach the end. And if you don't give them a way to take the next step, you're leaving conversions and new clients on the table. So here's what you do. You design micro CTAs at places 1 and 2 and a clear direct CTA at place 3. You're not pushing, you're offering. And you're doing it in the exact moments when readers are naturally looking for guidance. So now let's talk about something subtle but powerful, and that's seeding your method. So most business owners make the mistake. They explain what they do, but they don't explain why it's the only thing that makes sense. And as a result, readers finish the book thinking that was interesting, but they're not convinced it's the right path for them. But when you seed your method throughout the book, when you weave it into your stories, your frameworks, your case studies, you create a sense of inevitability. By the time readers get to your offer, they're not thinking, should I do this? They're thinking, of course I should do this. It's the logical next step. So how do you seed your method? Well, step 1, you name it. Give your process a name. It could be simple, the 5-step retirement blueprint, or the credibility playbook system. When you name it, it becomes real. It becomes something they can point to and say, that's what I need. Step 2, reference it repeatedly. Don't just explain your method once and move on. Bring it up in different contexts throughout your book. Show how it applies to different situations. Make it the thread that ties everything together. And step 3, show it working. Use case studies and client stories to demonstrate your method in action. Let readers see the before and after. Let them see the transformation that they can experience. When you do this, you're not selling. You're educating in a way that makes your method feel like the obvious answer they're looking for. By the time they reach your call to action, they're not being convinced. They're being reminded of what they already believe, that this is the path forward. Now, here's where a lot of books fall apart. They make big claims, but they don't back them up. They say things like, this will transform your business, or you'll see results in 90 days, but they never show proof. And when that happens, readers tune out. They stop believing. But when you stack proof naturally throughout your book, those claims become credible. They become real. So let's talk about the difference between claims and proof moments. A claim is a statement you make. Our process helps financial advisors double their revenue. A proof moment is showing that claim in action. Here's the story of John, a financial advisor who was stuck at $300,000 a year. After implementing our process, he hit $600,000 within 18 months. Here's exactly what he did. Do you see the difference? That claim tells the story. The proof moment shows. And here's the key. You want to stack proof moments throughout your book so that by the time you make your final offer, it feels undeniable. It's the obvious next step. Every chapter should have at least one proof moment, a story, a case study, a data point, something that reinforces what you're teaching. And here's a pro tip. Don't just use your own success stories. Use client stories. Because when readers see someone like them succeed, they think, hey, if it worked for them, it could work for me. That's how proof becomes persuasion without feeling pushy. Okay, now you might be thinking, I'm constantly sharing success stories. Won't that sound like bragging? And the answer is, well, only if you do it wrong. The key is to make the proof about the reader, not about you. Instead of saying, hey, we're amazing at what we do, and here's another client we've helped, you say, here's what's possible when you apply this framework. Let me show you how Sarah did it. See that shift? You're not the hero. The client is. And the reader is thinking, I want to be like Sarah. Here's how to stack proof naturally. 1. Use proof to illustrate, not to brag. Every time you introduce a new concept or a step in your process, follow it with a story that shows it working. This keeps the focus on teaching and not on selling. 2, vary your proof. Don't just use client stories. Use data, use research, use testimonials, use before and after snapshots. The more varied your proof, the more credible it feels. 3, let the proof do the talking. You don't need to add commentary like, see how amazing we are? No, just let the story move on. Trust that the reader will connect the dots. When you do this, your book becomes a proof machine. Every chapter reinforces your credibility. Every story builds trust. And by the end, hiring you doesn't feel like a leap of faith. It feels like common sense. Now let's talk about the final piece, your call to action. Most business authors get this wrong in one of two ways. Either they don't include a CTA at all, and their book becomes a dead end, or they go overboard and their book feels like a sales letter. There's a middle ground here, and it's simpler than you might think. Here's the CTA system that works. First, at the end of key chapters, offer a resource. This could be a checklist, a template, a video, a guide, something valuable that extends that chapter's teaching. And to get it, they just opt in at your website. This does two things. It gives them more value, and it captures their contact information so you can gently follow up and nurture them. At the very end of the book, make a clear invitation. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't say, well, if you're interested, maybe check out my website. Say something like this. If what you've read resonates with you and you're ready to implement this in your business, I'd love to help. Visit my website to schedule a free consultation and let's talk about how we can work together. That's it. Direct, clear, no hype, just a simple invitation. And here's why this works. By the time readers get to this point, they've already decided if they trust you. If they do, this call to action feels like a natural next step. And if they don't, no amount of clever copy is going to change their mind. So don't overthink it. Just make the offer clear and easy to act on. Here's the bottom line. The invisible offer architecture works because it respects the reader's journey. You're not interrupting their experience with a sales pitch. You're guiding them through a logical progress. Insight, understanding, proof, action. And when they reach the end, hiring you doesn't feel like a decision. It just feels like the next obvious step. And that's what separates a book that gets great reviews from a book that generates great clients. One educates, the other architects. And the beautiful part, when you do this well, readers don't feel sold to, they feel served. If you're ready to create a book that converts, click the link below and book a call with me. Let's talk about how to architect your book for maximum impact. And now, if you have found this video helpful, please remember to like it, subscribe it, and make sure that you watch the next video.